Hi, this is Lady Lex UK and this is another tutorial for Project Spark, and today we're going to be looking at attacking, damage and health and how it all works in Project Spark. Now I'm going to be using both the default and my own brains here to demonstrate how health and damage and attacking works. So first of all, let's have a look at just a standard a villager and goblin. Here we have a goblin. He's attacking me immediately because I am his enemy. And as you can see, my health, which is in the top left hand corner in that little meter, is slowly going down. And if I allow that to go down any further, I would be in danger of dying. But we don't want to do that. Let's get out of the way of him. And now let's rush in, punch him 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and he's down and dead. Gone. Poof. In a puff of smoke. Okay? So, combat in Project Spark, the damage inflicted is damage to a person's health. And the health is a variable that is kept in all of the characters and can be set in either the brain or in properties. Now, if you go into a third-person adventurer brain, you'll notice there is absolutely nothing in here that tells you how much health they've got. It displays a meter with the health on the screen top left, but it doesn't specify how much health there is. And when you attack, it doesn't specify what sort of attack or how much damage that attack will inflict. And the same with shooting. It says shoot, it doesn't say what to shoot or how much damage that will inflict. That's because all of this information is housed in the properties of that character and not in the brain. Now, if you put any details in the brain of a character in terms of damage, then it will overwrite anything in the properties. But for a default character, it's all kept in properties, which is when you press A instead of pressing Y, you get this menu up. We can go into properties. We'll go into combat. First of all, we'll go into health and defences, and you'll see that this is where our health is stored, and we have a maximum health and a starting health. Now, these two numbers can be different. It's possible that you could have a maximum health of 300 because that you could get spells and what have you throughout the game, and you might want it to be available so that you could increase your health. And the starting health is where you start off with. It's as simple as that. Now, if I was to set my starting health to 0, I will do that now. Okay, starting health is 0. My character will immediately die. Now, we obviously don't want that, but that might be very useful if you're wanting to put any dead characters in there. But be warned, if I was to start this game off and press test, that character would die and poof and will be destroyed immediately. If you want a dead body in your character, you've got to turn this off, destroy after death. So that character will be turned, that character destroyed will be turned off and it will just lie there as a dead body. But we don't want that, so let's put his health back to 100. And that's the starting health of a normal player character. There are some other settings here. We won't worry about those for a minute. Okay, let's have a look at melee. Melee is the attacking moves that you do with a sword or an axe or your fists. It's when you press the X button to attack. That's what melee is. And if we go into melee, we will see there are 3 different options. There is light damage, medium damage, and heavy damage. These damages are linked to types of attack. Now, the default attack, if you don't specify anything, is light damage, which is 8 points in the case of this villager. You would have to specify if you wanted to use a medium attack or a heavy attack to get these 2 activated. And with shoot, the shoot damage here is also 8 points. And this is also lifetime of bullets and speeds and what have you, but we won't worry about shooting quite for this tutorial. I'm going to just talk about mainly attacking. Okay, so this goblin here also has exactly the same. Here's his brain. There's nothing in here that says how much health he has. There's nothing here to say how much damage he's inflicting, but this time you'll see he's attacking with a light damage. It's actually been specified in this particular brain. If I was to remove that, it would still be light. It's not necessarily to have that there, but anyway, light attack is what a default goblin will do. And if we go into his properties, he's got exactly the same property situation. Here's melee. His damage is a little bit less than the wooden villager, so he's less aggressive and more likely to die in a fight. Also, if you were to look at his health and defenses, his maximum health is only 30, so he's going to die pretty quickly with an attack, and 4 hits will kill this goblin. You can of course include, if you change that maximum health to 100, whoops, didn't do that right. Change it back to 100. Right, if I change the maximum health to 100, it's moved its starting health to 100 too. You might not want that. You might want that to be 30. You could alter that. So these don't have to be the same. And we have all the same options as we did with the woodland villager. Right, other things that you need to be aware of. If I go into my goblin brain, you'll see at the very top it says once team equals team 2. This is the default for goblins, etc. It's slightly different teams for zombies, but most of your enemies are going to be set to be in team 2, and your player is going to be team 1. And you need to have this set up like that so that you can have an attacking situation. If we change this goblin to be team 1, the same, let's see what happens now. I try to attack him and I can't. I can't attack him because he is in the same team as me. And you notice he's not attacking me. I don't know why he did at the beginning there, but he's not attacking me either. There we go. So, you've got to make sure you've got them in different teams, otherwise they will not be able to fight each other. Actually, let's get rid of these and let's have a look at these 2 brains that I've got over here. Now I've put some things in their brain, so we can see the health and the damage in action. Instead of just a meter, I've got a number as well, and above the goblin's head I've got a meter and a number. So if I stand still, he'll attack me, and you can see the attack of 5. He's removing, every hit is removing 5 from my health. There we go. And now I've got in my villager here, I've got a randomized attack. When he hits a goblin, he's either going to hit a light, a medium, or a heavy attack. So let's try it. That was a medium attack. That's a heavy attack. And that's a light attack. Do it again. Medium, heavy, light, medium, medium, heavy, medium, medium. There we go. So it's a randomized attack, and you'll notice that it tells you the number, the type, and if I fire at him, it says ranged. It's a ranged attack there. And you'll notice these numbers are slightly different to the default. So how have I done that? Okay, in my villager brain, I've got the display meter as normal, but I'm also displaying the health as a number now. So that's there as well. And here is my randomized attack. So when I press X, it creates a random number, which I've called random attack. It's a random number between 1 and 3. Now this tile here is quite important if you are going to require options underneath. So if you want the numbers 1, 2 or 3 as options, then you need to put as integer, because that means it will be a full number. If I was to leave this out, this could create a random number of 1.4 or 2.65, and then these would not work because they're looking for an exact copy of 1 or 2 or 3. So you must have as integer if you want solid numbers. So here are our options. If the random attack is 1, then it's going to be a light attack. If it's 2, then it's going to be a medium attack. And if it's 3, it's going to be a heavy attack. Now here I've decided, instead of doing it in properties, I'm going to do it in the brain so I can change it as I like. And I'm going to say light equals 1, medium equals 2, heavy equals 10, and range damage also equals 10. And I'm going to set my light damage to be my light variable, my medium to be my medium variable, heavy to be my heavy, and when I shoot, the damage will be my ranged damage. So that's bypassing the default properties and putting in my own numbers. Now these numbers can be calculated like this with a single number, or you can use a mathematical formula with multiplications, divisions, you can use times, whatever you want. This can be changed, and it also can be changed, for example, with special weapons or special items of clothing or whatever. So you can have this number changed in the brain by picking up a special sword or something. So if you've got a special sword, you can make it so that light equals another number, and so if he's wielding that sword, then he'll have a better attack. That sort of thing can happen with this. But all the fun is in the goblin brain. So let's go up to the top here. So I've got the health displayed above as a number, and I've also got the meter. And I'm saying when you're hit by an attack, then my attacker equals it. So it's just saying what that's the attackers is the person that hit me. If the hit attack is ranged, then my display number equals my attacker's ranged damage number. So remember we set a ranged damage number in our player brain. Well, it's now going to pick that up and call that its display number. So every time you hit it, a bit further down here, there it is there. I'm going to display it above his head. Anyway, so what we're going to say is if we're going to determine whether it was a ranged attack or a light attack, and we're going to set a text variable to say the attack type equals range, so it will put the word up above his head as well. So we've got a light and a medium and a heavy. So it's a number is going to be the number of that heavy attack in my attacker, and we're going to set the attack type to heavy. When you're hit by an attack, we want to show the damage. So we'll set that to true, that boolean there. So when the boolean is true, for 1 second we'll display our display number, which is the attacking damage, and then when it will also display the attack type as well in text above his head. And then when that's over and done with, we're then going to turn that boolean off so that it can happen again. And that's it. That's what that is doing. So you've got a attack system that we can see, and we can see that the health is changing for each attack. Now then, let's go into this properties here. And again, these can be changed in the brain. But let's go into combat. Let's go into health and defenses. Now we've got some options here. Now let's turn invulnerable off and see what that does. What difference that makes. So I've made my character invulnerable, and now we're going to attack it and see what it does. So I'm attacking. Now you'll notice I am still attacking. It's still saying I'm a medium heavy and all this, but his health is not going down. And he is not reacting to these attacks. He's not going backwards. He's not flinching. He's just continuing to attack us. And he is invulnerable to our attacks, but we can still attack him. That's what that one does. So if we go back in and health and defenses, let's turn that one off. Turn immortal on this time and see what difference that makes. You would think invulnerable, immortal, it's the same thing, surely. Well, no, not quite. Let's try immortal and see what that does. Right, we'll attack him. Now, this time, the attack is still happening. His health is rapidly going down with all the punches that I'm doing. Let me just fire at him a few times. There we go, one more punch. Maybe two. Right, he is now at 0 health. Now normally, if a character got to 0 health, he'd be dead. But you've set him to be immortal, so he is not dead. You can still attack him, you can still punch him, but he's never going to die because you've made him immortal. So you see the differences in these two things. They're not the same. So we've turned immortal off. Let's turn attackable off and see what difference that is. So now I can't attack him. You sort of walk through him or round him. The punches are sort of in the air. He can still attack you, of course, but you really can't attack him at all. It's almost as if he's not there. So that's the difference between those three options. So be very careful about using those. And we've already discovered destroy after death, so I don't need to explain it. Now dodge speed, if your character is going to dodge, this is how fast he's going to dodge out of the way and how far he will dodge when he does so. I don't think this goblin has got any dodging in his brain. Let me just check. And no, there is no dodging. He doesn't do any dodging, so that is not really going to apply to him. So we don't need to worry about it. Right, so that's basically it. That's how damage works. You can change the numbers of the damage. You can change the way they can be attacked or not attacked, and you can change whether they die and leave a body or just die and disappear. And that's the basic attacking health system of Project Spark. I hope that's been useful to some of you. I know it's a pretty basic and a lot of you already know how to do a lot of this, but maybe the health brain and the attacking system would be of use or interest to you. Okay, thank you for watching and keep sparking.